Once There Was a Little Groundhog by Christopher Donahue. Once there was a little groundhog who had a big chicken inside a big apartment. In this apartment, there were many rodents and roaches along the way. All of the roaches, they had names and many bridal invitations to be sent. They had tradition and festivals that they would abide by in social commentation. They would dance the night away and be elegant and divine. But then one evening, while he was fucking the shit out of his other companion, she came so hard that he wound up dead. And then he was satisfied, and so took a plane away from her as soon as possible and got his twin to be dismembered. Throughout the plane, everyone was fooled that the twin was really the dead woman who he had just murdered with his dick. Unfortunate for one who knew the truth, and he wanted to get his balls deep in her vagina. But she said, "This is not TWA. I don't want to cry for you, Argentina. Get the fuck away from me. I like blonde-haired men, not these brunettes." And he said, "Well, dick smack me hard because I think I even have a vagina too." And so then they too could relate to each other, kissing one another. Two vaginas. What an elegant, what a tradition, what a culture change, what a shock to the system. Everyone was amazed, but they stood there and they held each other, so deep and gentle, you wouldn't even know. You would not even know. They would love each other throughout the night. They would be next to each other. They would look into the camera and then look away from the camera. They would jerk each other off in the car, in the taxi rides. They would have conversations, deep and hard. And think of children. Think of all of those ugly fucking children that they would never have. Those screaming babies they would never dream of again. They would think about it. And he came up to her and he said, "You know something? I can give you those children even though I have brown hair." And she said, "You look like Ben Stiller. Get away from me." And she said, and he said, and then he said once more, "You're the lower class of the human. You have to listen to me. I'm a male. I have a penis. I have brown hair." And she said, "You can call me Sarah if you want to. I have big boobs and wear dresses. Sometimes, most of the time, I don't wear underpants." And so he took her in her car back to his ex-wife, who was only 6 years old. And his ex-wife woke up and she had big breasts all of a sudden. And so they went to Vietnam. And they found a herky-majorky with heroin and screaming and crying with all of the panties in a rage and flowers on fire. The moon had put itself over the town and everybody was on the telephone telling everybody, "Yada yada yada, look at this place, it's all going to hell. Oh Y2K, oh Y2K, everybody is gonna die, up in flames. So come on in the shower, the water's fine. Come on in the shower, it's so divine." I know you're wearing some skimpy clothing, but you can take it off and put it right back on so quick. But he was hurt, and she was up in a rage. She says, I want semen now. I want semen. I'm not saying that I don't love your vagina. I just say that I want a baby. It's part of my nature. It's part of my humanity. And tornadoes spun in her chest, and she laid awake, and heads in conflict, and boobs laying on the mattress. Far and away, he found a replacement in a bar. He picked her up like a hookah, and then he smoked her. He smoked her really fucking hard. So hard he cried. And it was like the wilderness. It was like once when all of the deers, they put outside of the field, and the seagulls, they went by, dead, screaming dead, scavengers, terrorists, in Heartbreak Hotel with Elvis. The one dude knew the other dude did not have a vagina. The other dude thought the other dude had a penis. Some shit was coming on strong. And that kid wasn't just a dream anymore. And that kid was gonna get its panties in a bunch. Because it wasn't worth it. The police thought they could know how to do their job right. The French people don't know the way of Germany, and only Russians could hope for Japan. With bacon, spam, artichokes, and kale, all buy meat products by me and bisexuals. That's what the jail cells are full of. That's what all of the bald heads and the spiritual ones without hair, and all of the turtles without Frank Zappa or Dweezil could stand. There once was a boy, and that boy was now a man. There once was a man, then the man did not have a penis. There once was a woman who searched for that man that I was talking about just before. She searched high and low, but she was mostly high. But only one time, when her search had joined its awakening, the brown-haired man reminded her of cigarettes and voluptuous times being chased by cops, and that's when the drizzle found its own Conan the Barbarian, with kids and dreams and hopes and legalized prostitution. That's where it was. That's who thought about it. That's who dreamed up the scheme. It was the lawyer there. It was his hope. It was D'Artagnan. Too bad he would be shot. Too bad he would be shot in the head. Too bad he would be killed in front of his children. Too bad he would be murdered. Too bad she then would murder him after his dead body had been eaten by trolls and love cabooses. holy generations in green bellies. They smeared green jelly on themselves, and they took out the gun. He said, "Fire at me first." She didn't want to.